Blake Griffin has gone under the radar since his injury that took him out of the 2019 playoffs. Most people forgot what team he even played for. Let's be real, Detroit's a snooze fest. Anyways, we aren't here to make Detroit fans cry, even though there's a lot to cry about for them. I'm here to talk about if Blake Griffin should make the Hall of Fame. Blake is perhaps one of the greatest dunkers the NBA has ever seen, while also having one of the most up and down careers. At one point, it was almost certain amongst NBA fans that Blake was the best power forward in the game. Blake was liked and amazed all NBA fans for his crazy athleticism, posters, and off-the-court antics. I mean, come on, how could you not like this guy? Unfortunately, nowadays Blake is considered to have one of the worst contracts and is on a quickly sinking Detroit Pistons team. His old teammate CP3 is certainly a Hall of Famer, but can the same be said for Blake Griffin? Let's go and take a look. Just to give a quick rundown of how I'll be analyzing the situation, there will be 4 categories I will be judging Blake Griffin's success on. Firstly, I'll take a look at Blake's NBA and international resume. Then we'll have a look at his individual statistics and production, following after with team success, and lastly his legacy. And we'll come up with a conclusion after that. So now, let's have a look at Blake's NBA and international resume. Blake Griffin has had a very sporadic 11-year career in the NBA, featuring his original rookie season where he didn't touch the hardwood and will go on to win Rookie of the Year in technically his second year as an NBA player. Another season where he came 3rd in MVP voting, and an overall switch up of style from just a crazy athletic dunker to, well, this. All in all, Blake has won Rookie of the Year, was an All-Rookie First Team, All-NBA Third Team 2 times, All-NBA Second Team 3 times, a Slam Dunk Champion, and a 6-time NBA All-Star. Blake Griffin unfortunately doesn't have an international resume, but in terms of his NBA resume, it's not too bad. Blake came into the league on fire and was actually an All-Star his rookie year. There were a ton of expectations for Blake coming into the league as the first overall pick, and in his first 5 years in the league, he more or less met these expectations. He was considered one of the best 15 players in the league for 4 straight seasons, which is pretty hard to do considering he was a forward. He had to compete with people like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and old Tim Duncan, Anthony Davis, and even Draymond Green for top players in the forward position. Making an All-NBA team is hard nowadays if you're a forward, but Blake made an All-NBA team 5 times. With all of that out of the way, I'll be moving on to his individual statistics and production. Let's go and take a look. Blake's career stats look pretty good, averaging 21.7 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists, almost a steal, and half a block a game, all while averaging almost 50% from the field and 33.3% from 3. He did have quite a lot of turnovers, averaging 2.6 turnovers a game for his career. These are pretty good numbers in my opinion, and really well rounded for somebody like Blake Griffin. In his best season, the 2013-2014 season, Blake put up 24.1 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, almost 4 assists per game, along with 1.2 steals and half a block per game. He shot well from the field too, averaging 52.8% from the field and 27.3% from 3. Like I said before, these are some really good numbers to show off why Blake should make the Hall of Fame once his career is finished. You can argue that his 2010-2011 season was his best season, or even the last full season he played in Detroit, and I wouldn't fight you over it. Really, any year he was an All-Star was a pretty good season for Blake. Griffin has usually been a score-first player through his career, and has been the #1 scoring option on every team he's been on. He's also a fantastic rebounder, with his athleticism being a big contribution to that. He was also a good passer in the early years of his career, but has improved on it a ton, knowing well that if he wanted to stay in the league, he would have to become as versatile as possible. His defense is below average, and there's no way of hiding that. He shot the ball efficiently, but 35% of his shots have come within 3 feet of the basket, so he's expected to make those. For a player comparison for Blake, it's weird. There isn't one player he definitively plays like, but I could definitely say that young Blake had shades of Shawn Kemp, a freakishly athletic big man that could jump through the roof. But with his game evolving, it's become clear that his playstyle is rather unique in my opinion. Let's have a look at Blake Griffin's team success now. The Lob City Clippers might be one of the best regular season teams ever. Every night they played, you'd expect to see at least a couple highlights the next morning all over social media. Whether that be Blake Griffin dunking over your favorite player, CP3 dropping some insane dimes to his teammates, or something like this. Sadly, this energy wouldn't transition over into the playoffs as the Clippers would always seem to just fall apart. Griffin has never made it past the second round of the playoffs, which for having a talented team surrounded around him is quite bad. During his 7 years as a Clipper, they had 5 straight 50-win seasons and only missed the playoffs once during his tenure with them. Again, though he never had made it past the second round, all the blame shouldn't be put on Blake alone, but also to his team. But this is what the category is all about, so it's up to you how you want to interpret it. He got traded to the Pistons for Tobias Harris and other assets. He had one good year in Detroit, leading them to an even 500 record, being 41-41. But again, they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. I wouldn't be putting this much attention to his unsuccessful postseason runs, but Blake never even made it to the conference finals, so I think that's worth taking note of because that's kind of unacceptable for someone trying to make the Hall of Fame. Lob City will go down as one of the most disappointing teams of all time, and that leaves a big stain on Blake Griffin's career. Now, for the last part, we'll have a look at Blake Griffin's legacy and try to come up with a conclusion after that to figure out if Blake Griffin should make the Hall of Fame or not. One thing is for certain, Blake Griffin will be remembered. I think he's the greatest dunker of the 2010s and his highlight reels are just incredible. He also put up one of the most memorable dunk contest performances ever back in 2011 by jumping over a whole car. I'm sure he has inspired a lot of kids, and him also being one of the most enjoyable characters in the NBA doesn't hurt his case. These potential last seasons for Blake can mean a lot for his case onto why he should make the Hall of Fame. If he gets traded to a contending team like the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie and KD, or Portland with CJ and Dame, and becomes a reliable third option on a championship winning roster, I think that can drastically raise his chances of getting in. But other than that, I think he'll be out of the league soon because of his injuries, but oh man, in his prime he put up a show. But now it's time for the final conclusion to see if I believe he should make it to the Hall of Fame or not. I don't think Blake Griffin gets enough credit for how much he's evolved and expanded his game in the NBA. He became a good point forward and a decent three-point shooter after he lost his athleticism due to injuries. However, whether it be by poor circumstances, bad luck, or just not being talented enough, he never got to win games when they actually mattered, that being in the playoffs. His stats aren't bad, but the lack of success means he'll probably have to go ring chasing like I said before. So does Blake Griffin deserve to make it to the Hall of Fame? Obviously not. He has a good resume, great statistics, and a good legacy, but not enough team success. Basketball Reference has his probability of making the Hall of Fame at 54.8% chance, and I think that's actually really accurate. These last few years can really bring up that number though. So now it's your turn. Let me know if you think Blake Griffin should make the Hall of Fame, and if not, let me know why. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like or even subscribe, as it helps out with the channel and I see the support. Until next time, cheers.